The numbers 66 and 666 are encoded into corporate logos and other types of symbolism many of us see on a daily basis. Some of these sixes appear in the shape of the number 6, but to understand the majority of this symbolism, we must be familiar with a little gematria, which is the ascribing of numbers to letters. Using this code, we will see that F, O, X, and V are all used to represent the number 6. These charts can be found in basic books on numerology. One can either number the letters as 1 through 26, or the double-digit numbers can be broken down, or reduced, to one digit by adding the two numbers. F is 6 because it is the 6th letter. O is 6 because it is the 15th letter, and 1 plus 5 equals 6. X is the 24th letter, and 2 plus 4 equals 6. Again, this is basic numerology and can be found in books which do not discuss any conspiracies. V is also used as a 6 because Vav, or Vav, is the 6th letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Hebrew is the language of Kabbalah, which is the origin of the occult use of gematria. Once we understand that F, O, X, and V are used to equal 6, we can see why the world's fourth largest media conglomerate is named 21st Century Fox, and why Fox has channels named FX and FXX as well. Fox equals 666. FX equals 66. FXX equals 666. They sometimes place the X-shaped lights logo in front of the FX, adding an extra X and making it 666. The theory that the Volkswagen logo represents a 666 has been around since at least the 1980s. This is an important pattern for a few reasons. A W actually looks like two V's, which would be 66, but the inner lines are often shown as intersecting, creating a third V, making VVV or 666. In the case of Volkswagen, the logo is a V and W, making the three V's of 666. If this seems like a stretch, they accentuate the three individual V's for us in the Weinstein Company logo. If this is still hard to believe, consider the Gillette Venus logo, which has, for no apparent reason, a 3 rising like smoke from the V of Venus. It represents 3V, or VVV, or 666. Motorola gives us another 3V example. The bottom of the logo looks like a 3, and the space in between the upper points of the M makes a V. 3V equals 666. The FedEx office logo is 3 overlapping V's. 1 orange, 1 blue, and 1 green. Visa had a voucher program called Just 3V. The Kenwood logo highlights the third V formed by the intersection of the two V's of the W. Xeralto. 3 V's. Wikipedia. Interlocking V's again. Even Volunteers of America gives us a 3V variation. The Vivo YouTube channel has, or had, a show called VVV. There are more of these 3V's equals 666 logos, but we have seen most of the famous ones. The last one we will look at is one of the most unusual. Flip the B from Bridgestone upside down, and there is a V. The exterior bumps of the B form a 3. This last version shows the outlines of the 3 and V more clearly. As we saw at the start, some logos just use the actual number 6 in a variety of ways. Vodafone appears to have changed its logo, but even the basic 6 in the circle logo is another theme we see fairly often. The circle can be seen as an O, and O equals 6. 6 in an O is 66. A6 gives us an original form of the 666. The logo itself is a backwards 6, and it has the same basic shape as the first A in A6. The last syllable of A6, SICS, sounds like 6. Put the 3 together and you have 666. If that is not enough, the pattern on the sneaker itself looks like 3 joined X's. XXX equals 666. There is a series of movies called Triple X, which is 666. At first glance, claims that there is a 666 in the Walt Disney logo may seem weak, because, with cursive writing, one could easily make 6s out of a variety of letters. Yet, the Art of Disney store conveniently highlighted the 3 suspected 6s for us, making it fairly likely this symbolism was intentional. The next 2 logos use the actual form of the Hebrew V, which is Vav or Vow. The shape of this letter looks suspiciously like the 3 claw marks on the Monster Energy drink logo. The McCormick & Company logo has a similar look. Some claim that the Taco Bell logo hides a 666. It looks to have at least 2 6s, with the yellow internal 6 being unnecessarily shaped this way. These bizarre shape coincidences make it more likely symbolism is being used, as we saw in the unusual Bridgestone logo. It is likely the Taco Bell logo is at least a 66, if not a 666. We could continue with more 666 logos, but they become more obscure and involve more complex interpretations. We will turn now to some 66 logos which use related symbolism. There are 2 important 66 logos that show us some major themes, those of Chevron and of Dos Equis. The word chevron is defined as a figure, pattern, or object having the shape of a V or an inverted V. They have named the company after the V-shaped pattern that is so important to 6 symbolism. And their logo is 2 V's, which equals 66. Dos Equis in Spanish means 2 X's, a strange name for a company unless you understand the symbolic significance. XX has a few meanings. It equals 66, it represents the double cross, and it is one of several unification of oppositions symbols, some of which can be related to 66 as well. This unification of oppositions is an important Masonic and alchemical concept. When the oppositions within man are unified, higher consciousness is achieved. The classic example of these oppositions is the yin and yang. The resultant alchemical golden man can be seen in the intersection of the Dos Equis X's. RVCA clears up some of the doubt about the use of alchemical symbolism with its balance of opposites slogan, combined with their V-up, V-down logo. VV and XX both equal 66. Scrivener continues the oppositions theme with their logo, which resembles the yin-yang symbol and includes quotation marks that look like 2 6s. This VV theme is fairly common, with the V's placed in a variety of positions, upside down, sideways, V-up, V-down, etc. You will often see the A turned into an upside-down V with the elimination of its middle, interior line. Several logos combine the X's, emphasizing the double cross aspect. FX and OV equal 66. The Screen Gems logo is interlocking 6s. We can see another version of this in the lesser-known Basil logo. Sporting events often feature much of this logo symbolism. If you are a tennis fan, you might have noticed the Australian Open just changed its logo to a VO equals 66. You might be familiar with the Yonex brand as well. This is a good logo for showing the intentional nature of the 66 logo phenomenon. The logo looks strange until you realize they are showing us a negative space around two backward sixes. We can explain the variety of somewhat odd patterns in logos once we understand this symbolism. Holiday Inn and Hoover both use embellished H's. This allows them to turn these H's into XX's. Both Dynamic Fitness and Fandango use interlocking F's. FF equals 66. Foster's places an F inside an O. FO equals 66. Payless puts an upside-down 6 inside a circle, or an O. 6O equals 66. The HP logo of Hewlett-Packard is a DY when turned upside down. DY is the abbreviation for the element dysprosium, which can be seen on the periodic table as having an atomic number of 66. The last one we will look at is ING. This one has a roundabout way of getting to 66 or XX. The odds of these stranger interpretations continuing to arrive at 66 accidentally must be quite low. ING is a rather clumsy company name. Why did they choose it? Googling rune and this image will come up. The ing rune is in the shape of stacked X's. Turn it on its side, and we have the XX of Dos Equis once again. XX equals 66. Once the reality of this logo phenomenon is understood, 66 and 666 can be used to decipher more symbolism. At this point, the 666 hand sign used by a variety of people in the public eye, especially those in the movie and music industries, has become hard to deny. This hand sign is popularly known as the OK sign, but many believe that when used by celebrities it is meant to represent 666. OK can be written as the two letters O and K. We have seen that O is equal to 6. K is equal to 11 and is a special letter when used in Gematria. It is not reduced to one number. It is left as the two-digit 11 because of its important multiples, including 33, 66, and 77. If any viewers still doubt the use of Gematria in logos, the existence of a serial called Special K should eliminate some of the remaining skepticism. K is special because of its use as 11 in Gematria. There is essentially a popular serial named after a function of Gematria. OK, therefore, can be understood as 6 and 11, and 6 times 11 is 66. The hand sign itself shows 3 sixes. That could mean that the gesture as a whole represents both 66 and 666, the same numbers we see so often in corporate logos. The Canadian rapper, Drake, who displays a variety of suspicious symbolism, seems to have a strange obsession with the number 6. He started a record label called OVO. OVO equals 666. The singer called The Weeknd has his own record label called XO. XO equals 66. These two have teamed up for a project they, coincidentally, call OVOXO. Those are most of the letters we have seen that equal 6. OVOXO is basically 66666. Singer Elle King released a song in 2014 called X's and O's, in which she sings, X's and O's they haunt me, like ghosts they want me to make 'em all, they won't let go. Madonna, who has a song called Illuminati and has a career-long history of using occult symbolism, used an M-based logo during her Super Bowl halftime show that should look familiar to us. It is the 3VW, upside down, with an X in a circle along with it. The X in a circle is an X in an O, and XO equals 66. We have seen that W is actually a double V, or when the inner lines intersect, a triple V. This means W could be used to represent both 66 and 666. George Bush Jr. was famously referred to as W. Oliver Stone even made a movie about Bush's administration called W, the cover of which displays the interlocked 3VW. It may seem we are stretching this hypothesis too far, but George W. Bush is a member of Skull and Bones, which has 322 as its special number. 3 times 22 is 66. V is the 22nd letter of the alphabet, so 322 could also mean 3V, which is 666. George Bush could have received his W nickname as a reference to the double and triple V pattern made so famous by Volkswagen. Double V equals 66. Triple V equals 666. Explaining the occult meaning behind 66 and 666 can be somewhat complicated, but basically it has to do with the precession of the equinoxes and the great year, subjects which are key to the secrets of secret societies. A fuller explanation can be found on other videos on this channel. The video Donald Trump, Freemason, provides a brief explanation of both the great year and the unification of opposition's concept, and it is very much related to this video. In brief, 66 is the number of years it takes for the sun to precess 1 degree against the background of the zodiac constellations. 666 is the number of years it takes to precess 10 degrees, or 1 decan. Yet, when actually doing these calculations, 66 and 666 should have repeating decimals, as in 666.666 etc. With these numbers, the length of one zodiac age, like the age of Aquarius, equals 2,000 years, and the length of all 12 zodiac ages equals 24,000 years. This 24,000-year great year is important to occultists, because they believe human consciousness varies during this cycle, with mankind rising to spiritual illumination during the Golden Age and falling to complete materiality in the darker ages. A reasonable person may ask what a teenage pop star or actor would know about astronomical calculations, or why they would participate in an elite occult conspiracy. The answer is that knowledge levels likely vary, from those who display this symbolism, with no understanding of its meaning, only because they have been told to further their career, to those who have actually joined secret societies, but may have a limited understanding of the implications, to those at the top who have a complete understanding, and who get others to put this symbolism in the public eye. According to occult history, humanity is currently rising back toward the next golden age. Consciousness is rising. A new world of higher consciousness humanity is coming. The powers that be want a new world order for this coming new world of higher level humanity,